Guys, welcome back to the Merry Boozers RC channel. Today we are here with one of Papa's old favorite planes.
You know, I think this was my second plane after I came back.
Yeah, he had a Grand Cruiser, the original white and blue one, and now Dynam has this new version. This is the new paint job, new motors. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited for it too. I know Papa is definitely going to claim this one back as his own. Because he loved the original version.
I did. I really did. And I'm not kidding. This was a great flying little plane, and it handled the wind. And like I say, I was kind of real green when I came back. I hadn't flew for 7 years. I did fly something a little bit easier than this, but went right from that to this, and it was great.
So what we're going to do for you today is get it out of the box. We're going to show you what comes in the box, and then we're going to get it assembled for you. After we have this airplane all finished, then we'll get it out to the field and we'll get it flying. So what we're going to do right now is get all the parts laid out on the laid out from the box on the table, show you everything, and then we're going to get started building.
Let's go. First assembly that the instruction says to put together is put the tail feathers on, which anybody doesn't know what the tail feathers are, that's the vertical and horizontal stabilizer. One of the things I really want to tell you, if any plane, not just the Dynams, if any plane has paint of where you're going to glue something, you need to take you some sandpaper and roughly remove the paint where you will be attaching the glue. If you leave the paint on there, guess what happens? The paint will come away from the foam, and then if it comes away from the foam, the glue comes away, and you got the idea. So let's continue with attaching this. First it says to attach this to this, and then you got to get it the right way. And then, I did that side too. You can see where I did this, and I did around here. So remove all the paint from those surfaces before you glue the area needed to be glued. So we'll get the glue out.
You can do it right there on the table, Dad. I'll zoom in on it. I gotta get it.
Okay, so here we go. We get the glue out. We put the glue.
Or you can pick it up.
I'm sorry. On the parts as required. Be generous with the glue, please. Do not be chinchy gluing this. The stronger it is, the better it will be. So, now another secret to attaching this tacky glue is run it in, stick it together, wiggle it around, then unattach it, because the glue will attach better if you do this. So in and out a few times like this, and then just make sure it's all together. Just like that. Maybe having a rag to make sure you don't get glue all over your little fingers, but anyway, that's all of that. Here we go with this part. Again.
And the plane comes with this glue, guys.
Yes, the glue comes with the kit. do not throw your glue away after you do. If you have any left, this is something you want to keep. So please keep your glue. You will always need it. Sorry it takes so long to do this. You might want to put it on both sides. Sorry that glue takes so long.
Don't apologize. It is what it is, right guys? You guys have put one together before, know what it's like. Oh, you gotta string that wire up to the front too, don't forget, before you push that together. Hanging off the tail.
Right.
Before he sticks that down, I just wanted to make sure he knew to stick that up in
Yeah,
there.
you gotta stick that up in there. And I don't know where the hole is. Maybe it's this one right here.
It's right there above the rudder.
No, here it is.
Yep.
Okay. That's correct. You don't want to forget that, or you may be in trouble. Of course, the hole is not very large. Come on, drop in there. Push in there. Aha! It finally went in there. You know, guys, if you're assembling one of these on a video, you will not ever know how much of a monkey you look like when you're doing this. So, if you want to know the fun of it, try one of these days.
Do it on film.
Do it on film, it's a great thing. Wesley's over there laughing because he's done this before.
Many times.
But the good news is we have fast forward. I'm trying to find it in the fuse, but I still haven't got as much loading up somewhere.
Let me tighten this up a little bit. Oh, sorry, buddy.
I don't know what's coming out.
Put your marks a little.
That's right. Don't
What are you doing?
hang it up right there. Yep, I think that's what you have to do. There you go. Push that down through there. There you go. I don't know. There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
That's great. You can turn right around.
I don't know. I think I have to your system because the factor is you look through. You're standing in front of the camera.
Put it over.
Here's over. You know what's under the servo points and everything else, right? That's right.
Or that's not put it on. I got it. You put it down. Take it out. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. Wait a minute. This is. Keep on yourself. Okay. You gotta get through that hole.
Left, right, up, down.
That's right. Go, go, go.
I got it.
Big.
Now, what's else back there?
That's all.
So Lori probably just cut this. What we did, we pulled this wire through, and we had a come get them. I highly recommend you get one of these if you don't have one. All it is a little rod with a curly at the end.
Comes in some kits.
Yeah, we pulled the wire from the back of that airplane to the front. And what Dad's doing now is getting that nice and stuck. So, let me see if I can rearrange the camera for you. There it goes. What he is doing right now is trying to make sure that the tail is stuck down and it's all in the grooves nice. And what we want to do now is just let this sit for a few minutes and everything kind of firm up.
Make sure that this is all the way to the front, guys. But I believe we got it there now.
All right, so we'll be back in a few minutes. That was a little bit of a cluster, but yeah, that's how that works.
Okay, guys, so we've let the tail sit here and dry for a little while. Now, the instructions are not the clearest in the world, but just so you know, the option is either you do glue the vertical to the horizontal, but you do not have to glue, after you do that, you don't have to glue the whole thing together. It does, according to the instructions, it attaches with one screw. If you're prone to crashing,
Turn it just a little bit more.
you can see the screw here. But if you're prone to crash, you might not want to glue this on. That way you can get it off. But anyway, options are options. but I elected to glue my vertical to the fuse. You will not ever get it off again. Sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do now is attach the servo attachments to the elevator and the rudder. Now they come with these little clevises that everybody's seen these things. Now what I've done is go ahead and put them in. I put them in the outer holes, and I've already Loctited the nut, because if you tighten it too tight, it won't rotate. So the best thing you can do is put the Loctite on them, and they're already there. Now, these do glue on with your glue through the holes provided in each control surface. So here we go again with our glue. Add a little glue here as it comes out. Oh, I got lots of glue. Ooh. Oh, baby. Got lots of glue. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to run that rod through that connector, and then you will push that home in your control surface. That's as easy as that is. We'll let that set. Now what we're going to do is the same thing to our rudder. I went ahead and dry fit everything before you do anything, guys. Best thing you can do is dry fit it. Now, again, we're going to glue. Don't be stingy with your glue. This is your control surface. You run it up on the rod through your connector. Hope you can see that. And then we drive it home through the surface that we are, and that's how those fit. And we'll continue with the next step.
Yep, and let these dry before you go to fiddling with it too much, because this is a very crucial part of your airplane, guys. So make sure these are good and dry before you move on.
All right, guys, so here we are again, where we've got the wing out, and we're going to assemble the outer wing tanks. But we do have the fuse over there drying as we talk. Now, the other thing that I always want to remember you to do, if they have overspray on any of these parts, please use sandpaper and clean the overspray off, because of the attachment is better foam to foam than that paint. So here we go. We're going to put the glue on the surface, making sure that we get a good attachment on everything. Now this wing does have lights on it, so what you will do is take this before you stick it in here, and you're going to put the little wire right there in that groove and slide her home. Okay? Make sure it fits. And remember what I always do is I take it apart, put it back together, take it apart, put it back together. That makes the glue attach even better. So we're going to squish it around, we're going to make it fit, and we're going to pull it apart. Now, and you can already feel after you do that the glue starts attaching or starts adhering really rapidly if you do that. And you kind of run, these wires will go all the way into the fuse. These are your light wires for the lights on the tank. So we just run that down in there. Now there is an area in here which I probably won't take the time to do, but you have to run two wires together in that same slot. So I'm not going to take the time to do that right there, but that goes all the way in here.
And there were two covers right here, guys.
Yes, we took the covers.
They're just magnetic. They pop right out on the bottom of the nacelles. Hey, can you pick that up and show it to them real quick?
Right, we'll show you.
There's one right there. Yeah.
Here you go. These go right back in here, guys.
There you go.
And they magnetically Now, it's really neat idea. I will give Dynam credit for this one. You need to work on your motors, or you need to change out your ESCs.
Right, you can pop
There
that
we go.
off.
I mean, that's pretty neat there, and I never did have any problem with them coming out when I was flying the other one, so pretty cool idea right there. So anyway, good idea. Here we go.
He's gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll come back to you once we get these all rounded and pretty done.
There we go.
Back to working on it. All right, guys, so Papa's got the wing all put together now. He got that wire ran in there and all the stuff back on it.
And we've let the wing tanks glue.
Yep.
They're all glued on.
You can see the wing tips are on there now. So what we have done, and I want you to get a shot of that, is we've routed all of our wires from the wing into our receiver, and we've taped our receiver harness down. So at this point, before we put the wing on, this is a good time to bind up our receiver before we start trying to put it in the airplane, because the way this one is set up, it's easier to mount the receiver to the wing than it is to mount it inside the airplane. So it's easier if we just go on and set all this up right now. So we have our NX6 radio that we've got all our settings in. So we did set this up as one aileron, one flap.
And Dynam did give you all the wire harnesses for the flaps and the ailerons and
the lights.
The lights was in here, and by the way, guys, look at the on the lights it says flashing or on. So we're going to put the flashers. The solid ones are going to be on the
wing tip, and we're going to do a flasher on the tail.
And so you just know, but it's right there on the flash, the
little driver
itself, the driver itself.
So at this point, what we have is we have our receiver mounted, we have our bind plug in. I'm going to set the radio into, where is it at? Oh, you know what, we'll just do it this way. Turn the radio off. If you have a Spectrum radio, you can do this with any of them if you want to bind.
Yep. Have the radio off first, you plug this in now.
Please register your radio.
Yep.
Can you make that go away?
Just hit the button again. Usually goes away. I'm plugging it in here now, guy. You hear the ba-da-da-da.
Hold in the trainer button and turn in the radio on. Binding. It's got it. Hang on. There it goes. Now you can pull the bind plug out. Now, what we need to do, right off the bat, you can hear it, guys. Right off the bat, the throttles need to be calibrated. So what I'm going to do is go full power on the radio. So if you're new to this, full power on the throttle side. Props are off. Plug it in. Hold the throttle down. It's the flaps that are chattering. I think it's setting off.
No, they're one up, one down.
Or they're banging. So anyway, that gets it set up, guys, where we can at least get the airplane programmed once we put it all together now, instead of doing this whenever it was all put together.
Right.
You can go on and unplug it, yeah. So our next step, we're going to get our fuselage, plug our few that are left in, and then put the 4 wing bolts on.
And when you do this, do not put your props on this airplane.
Right.
Leave the props off.
Because right now, the very, very last step in all this, after you're sure the airplane is set up, your motors are spinning the right way, everything, then you put the props on. Because with the props off, there's no chance of you getting hurt. That motor can go to full power right now, and it's not going to swing a blade and hurt you.
You do not know what's going on, so safety.
Yeah, be careful, guys. These can be kind of dangerous. When these little props hit you, they're like little razor knives, and I've seen them hurt a lot of people. So leave these off until you are completely done.
You can tell which way these are you can tell which way they're turning, and these are going to be counter-rotating, so you can try that one out.
Let's go on and button this little bit up.
Button it up,
and then we're going to be back when we're putting the top on.
We've got all this dry over here, and it's ready to go.
Anyway, we'll be back in a second.
Yep.
Alright guys, so what we did is we've screwed the fuselage to the wing, there are 4 long machine threaded screws. Did you have one left over? I think we did.
Bunches left over.
Bunches of them. All right. So they give you some extra ones in better news, but these are the ones you're going to want right here. These are what hold the 4 wing bolts for the airplane. After that, as you remember, we already have bound the airplane. What we did, and I didn't show you guys, this is kind of an easier thing to do, but back here on the tail, we just went on ahead and centered up all our control surfaces. As you can see, they all work. But there are, I forget what you call those, but you can actually see one right there. But there's the adjustment points to where you can make sure everything's straight and centered. Now we have the airplane set in here all fired up for you. You can see the lights that work on the wing tips. We've got the lights on the tails, and I wanted to show you it all running. The props are a little bit different than most. You have a blind nut behind it, and then you have the hub, and then the prop, and then another nut to hold it.
And you have to get the nut on the back exactly right so the prop will align into the spinner. But after you get that all done, it's pretty good.
Right.
Works pretty well.
And now I'm going to show you the retracts going in and out too. As you can see, they all work good. So it does have the retracts right out of the box, and counter rotating propeller. So I'm going to do it real gentle. It does have a very unique sound when this airplane's flying.
My first one had a very unique sound. Looks like we got a nose.
We might need to adjust the nose wheel.
Needs to be adjusted a little bit. Looks like it's going to the left just a little bit, but
you know, guys,
it's typical stuff.
It's part of it, right? But the actual assembly of this airplane was extremely straightforward. I mean, there was nothing big that took out a lot of time or anything that's unusual for us.
Pretty straightforward assembly. Few things. It's just getting all the wires up in the fuse was kind of.
Yeah, you do end up having, when you put the wing on,
tremendous amount of wires.
When you do put the wing on, you do have to shove that ball of wires just kind of up in there.
Show them in there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can see them in there. There's just, you got to get them all up through that hole inside the fuse.
There you go. Y'all can see that there.
You can kind of see them all stuck up in the top.
So you kind of just have to stick them up in there.
If you got a twin, you've got 3 Y harnesses in there, so it's it's kind of a wiring mess when you get a twin, and then you get.
It does have working flaps also.
Yep.
Let's show those to you real quick. Whoops! I'm just going to stick them down so you can see them.
Oh, it's got everything. I
mean, it's got all the things you
small plane like this, it's got a lot of features that are really cool for a twin, but it is a twin, so. At the same time, you've got to understand that twins need a lot of wires to make them work, and
but they fly good normally. And like I said, guys, we have owned one of these, and we really enjoyed it. But I guess the proof will be in the pudding. We're going to get it out to the field. Everything's set up now. Yeah, I'm super excited.
It was a great flyer. I mean, it was a very stable flyer. An intermediate pilot can fly it. Even though it's a twin.
One thing I do want to mention though. We are not going to use the stickers. It's kind of weird that it's got the original blue stickers with this new paint job.
Looks like they've redone the stickers.
Not quite a fan of the blue. So we're going to go on and leave these off. I'm going to probably get some different nomenclature for it. If I could change anything in the kit, it'd be the sticker sheet. I would like a different sticker sheet for the new red paint job.
You know, I really believe they upgraded the model when they painted it. The old one was not painted. It was just plain foam. And with them painting it, it's brought it up to a different level. But we need some different stickers. I mean, I'm not going to put blue stickers on a silver and red airplane. don't look like it worked to me, but
you know, like I said, it looks pretty good without any of the
somebody
stickers
else
on
wouldn't
it.
bother.
Right.
But
It looks good to me without the stickers though, so we're just gonna rock it like it is. We might put some numbers on the tail, like I said, something like that, but for the most part, just gonna leave it like it is.
just a regular
It's a Cessna.
civilian aircraft with some numbers on the wings and that kind of thing is the way we'll do it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to buy a Grand Cruiser, we do have an affiliate link down in the description. Decide to buy it through us. We make a little bit of commission on it. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps support us. And if you like the stands you've seen in this video, they're also available on Bitgo Hobby.
And those are the
Ernst stands, yeah.
And I have been using Ernst stands
Forever.
I mean, I'm not lying on that one. That's what I use. The blue stand and that this airplane is on, I've been using those since I came into the sport in the 80s.
Yep.
And there's other stands out there are just as good or can do things. If you have a certain type of airplane you want to build, there's other stands. But overall, you can't beat these stands as far as
He's had them a long time. So, guys, keep watching out. We're going to have the flight videos coming soon. Like always, like, share, subscribe. Get out there and fly with your friends, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Later, guys.